So I did a huge thing recently and I moved to New York City. This move has been a long time coming, but it wasn't just about getting here and the drive and finding a place. It was a whole emotional journey. Welcome to the Femden. My name is Alyssa. On this channel, we talk about everything involving the women empowerment, self-help, self-development, and just becoming the best and most powerful version of yourself. If that's something that aligns with you, please like and subscribe so you can see more videos from me. Today I want to share how it felt leaving almost everything behind and hopefully inspire someone who has probably thought of doing the same thing. We are 1 hour away from Brooklyn! Oh my God. Before the move, I had this perfect idea in my head, right? And I wanted everything to be planned to the T, from the route I had to take to get here, from where I'd live, from simply the commute to the school that I'd be going to finding a job, to the closest grocery store. I was driving myself crazy. I thought I could control everything, but the more I tried to do that, the more impossible the whole entire thing felt. I thought I could plan away the fear of the unknown, but I just made everything 10 times more fearful. So eventually I just let go of trying to control all the small details and just focused on the next step. Once I started to do that, everything felt way more manageable. It just felt like, okay, I can do this, right? It was a huge mental shift. It honestly changed the whole entire game for me. I went from really feeling extremely overwhelmed by the whole entire thing, and kind of feeling defeated, to feeling like this was something I can do. This is something that I can accomplish. Everything started to feel more in alignment because I wasn't trying so hard to control every small detail. Leading up to the move, I spent a lot of time with family and friends, more than I have in years. I leaned on them and I really took the time to love on them and appreciate our time together. As I spent more time with them, I really started to realize how important this move was to me. Not just because of career opportunities. It was time for me to grow beyond where I was and beyond what I knew. Spending time with them helped me understand why I was making this move in the first place. It wasn't just about escaping where I was. It was about moving towards something better, a more evolved version of myself, putting myself in a position that will challenge me and force me to grow. I'll be honest, although I really did feel like it was time for me to move on, it was hard saying goodbye. It wasn't just about leaving behind family and friends. It was about leaving behind the comfort, the familiarity, and all the things that made me feel loved and safe. That was the most bittersweet part of the whole process, for sure. Realizing that I couldn't hold on to everything forever and that it was time to step into new. So let's get into the actual road trip. It took me, first of all, 3 days to get here. Actually, 3.5 days to get here. I stopped along the way, and I honestly suggest that for anyone who plans on driving to a new city. It's just logical, and also it just helps you process everything a lot smoother on the journey rather than focusing too hard on getting there at a specific time. Just flow, unless you really have to get there. So day 1 of the 3.5 days was a whirlwind of emotions, 100%. I packed up my whole life, and in the moment where my car was full with everything that I could possibly bring with me, it really hit me. I was like, wow, I'm leaving. That's when all the emotions started to flood out of me. I was still filled with that initial excitement, but yeah, the sadness really did hit. I remember just driving and leaving Miami, and I was just like, wow, wow, I'm not gonna see these familiar landscapes for a long time. There was a certain heaviness to saying goodbye, for sure, which is normal. So that first day was definitely rough. I was crying on and off. I was just trying to get myself more grounded and out of that maybe tiny bit of anxiety that I felt. I guess I wasn't expecting the emotional weight that came with leaving so much behind, and I really didn't realize how much I would have to leave behind because my plan was just take my car. I did not want to rent a U-Haul. I did not want to spend any extra money than I really had to, and I knew that I could always buy those things later. Once I started actually packing and realizing wow, a lot less than I thought is gonna fit into my car. All the things that had accumulated over the years I can't take with me besides the most important things, which was hard. You know, you get attached to these things and it's kind of silly, but they become a part of your day-to-day. And obviously you'll survive without them, but it's still a little bittersweet, so don't judge me. So eventually, once I got out of that emotional state, I truly felt the freedom of the space in front of me, of the open road. It was just freeing. I really truly felt inside of myself this groundedness and this peace and alignment. And honestly, it's really hard to explain, and that's the only way I can truly put it. So I stopped in North Carolina, South Carolina, just kind of like for sleep. And I actually stopped in Washington, D.C. and I saw the White House, which was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was like super geeked about being there. It was cold and it was gorgeous and there was still leftover snow on the floor and I was in love. I hadn't seen snow in years, so seeing it for the first time in over 10 years, I was just like emotional. Each mile I drove truly felt like a new chapter of a book that I didn't know how to finish. I remember driving through the States and really just allowing myself to get lost in like the unfamiliar places I was coming across. And whenever I felt like, hey, I want to stop somewhere and do something exciting, I would stop at a park, or I stopped at like Barnes and Nobles. Obviously I stopped for food. I was just allowing myself to just go at my own pace and just really take it all in. There was a sense that everything was like unfolding one step at a time, one state at a time. It just felt incredibly symbolic, honestly. Why did I move? I am taking a course at FIT for fashion styling. So when it came to figuring out where to move, that was in the forefront of my mind. It was either Paris, Milan, or New York. So I obviously chose the easier solution, which Milan might have been cheaper, but New York was in the States. So I didn't have to worry about getting a visa and worry about actually moving outside of the country. So if you're someone who's thinking of moving to a new city and you have a career, or say you want to like pivot in your career and choose another route, figure out what city caters to that career path that you're choosing, right? And I think that's very important when you are choosing a city, unless you do everything online. Then it's like whatever. But still, like if you're in that career path like fashion, like I would want to be surrounded by people in that industry, right? Like because it's just like exciting and you can like really be in the thick of everything rather than just like on your screen. That's one of the things I take into consideration when choosing the city. Also, if you have kids, where is there a nice place to raise children? Each city offers something different. Each country offers something different. I chose New York City for the fast-paced environment, for the feeling of everyone wanting to chase a dream or chase this higher version of themselves. I really wanted to be surrounded by that. Preparing mentally and logistically. Moving to a new city is not just about the move. It's an emotional adjustment. What I did to help myself in this instance is I did a lot of visualization meditations and visualized my future here, where I saw myself in, let's say, 10 years in New York City, right? I visualized my apartment, how I wanted it to look. I visualized the car I was driving. I visualized me getting up and getting ready for work. I visualized me having Christmas dinner with a full table full of friends and people. Their faces might have been blurred because these people aren't specific yet. I don't know who they are, but I visualized a table full of human beings having a great time. I felt what it felt like to be here, because visualizing is one step, but you actually have to feel what you would feel like if you were living in that reality. I really feel like that helps with the mental preparation, because once you see yourself somewhere, you can feel yourself somewhere, okay? You can actually like believe that you can make it happen. Of course, the practical preparation is important too. You have to save for the move. I'm sure there's people out there who have moved somewhere with not a dollar to their name, but in my opinion, if you're trying to still live in this very stable, emotionally stable, financially stable place, like I very much want to stay in my feminine energy. I do not want to go into fight or flight mode or go into survival mode at all. Been there before and it's not fun. You never want to put yourself in jeopardy, and you want to give yourself the best advantage you can, right? Set yourself up for success. Save as much as your paycheck as you can after bills. Also, what I did, obviously New York is cold and it snows here, and Miami doesn't really, it never snows, and it probably doesn't ever get past 50 degrees. So I knew that I would need winter attire. So while I was working, I also put money aside to purchase those things. So I bought like my coat, I bought boots, I bought other essentials that I might have needed over time that I knew might be a little hard to buy when I wasn't working. And for Christmas and my birthday, I asked for gift cards, gas cards. I asked for Starbucks gift cards because I drink Starbucks almost every single day. I even go as far as opening a new account for groceries and for gas, whatever it may be. That way, while you're working, you are actually like preparing for when you won't be working. Also, just do your research on where you're moving and what city you're moving to. If you know anyone who lives in the area or has been in the area or has lived in the area in the past, ask them, reach out to them for their opinion on the town. They can probably give you some advice that you wouldn't have known if you didn't reach out to those people. Also, something I did when moving, I ended up getting an Airbnb. And I feel like it was the best option for me. Honestly, looking online is not the safest, and like doing everything via FaceTime or via text message or via email is not the safest thing to do when it involves like money. So I think that getting the Airbnb was a lot safer in my opinion, and then looking for an apartment while you were actually in the city. You can go see it in person, you can see the paperwork that you're signing, you can get the keys while you're there. You know what I mean? It's just a lot safer. And the Airbnbs are actually not that expensive when you pay for it on a monthly basis. And they do monthly rentals in New York, at least. I'm not sure if they do it all over, and I didn't even know that, but I'm paying for this Airbnb. I paid for 3 months in advance, and I'm here for 3 months till I find a place. Guys, we made it to the Airbnb. I hope you found this a little inspiring. If you've thought about doing this for yourself, or maybe a friend has thought of doing this, send this to them. Sometimes it feels too out of reach for us to do things like this, but it's really not. Like, just take a chance and believe in yourself. It's been 1 week since I've been here in New York, and I think this is probably the most exciting yet the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. But I know it's going to be the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I'm gonna look back at this and say, I am so glad that I moved out of my hometown. There's just things that I can't predict that I know are gonna unfold for me just by being here and by making this transition. So if you're planning on moving to a new city, or even thinking about moving to a new city, or even out of the country, just know that it's okay to feel uncertain. It's okay to feel scared. That's all part of the process. You feel fear and you do it anyways. Of course, paying attention to your intuition and making sure that you feel deep down should bring you at least some sense of peace when you think about making this move. Like, what's the biggest leap you've taken in your life? Or what's the biggest leap you want to take in the future? If you're planning on moving to a new city, please drop it down in the comments. Where are you planning to go? How are you planning to get there? Where are you from? Let me know. If you would like to see more of the actual road trip from Miami to New York, I did post a vlog, my very first vlog, on my channel. So if you want to watch that, I will tag it right here. Just go ahead and watch that next. I can give you guys a tour of the place if you want. I plan on going apartment hunting, so I'll definitely be posting about that. If you want to follow my journey, please like and subscribe, or share with someone who might be thinking about moving to a new city and is a little scared. Hopefully this will inspire them and inspire you too.